Uh, Now we are at the instant spells. Now I run 11 instants, and most of these instants are aimed towards specifically just helping your heroic creature staying alive, because that is what I think is one of the most important things in the game. You can have a heroic creature takes a long time, and it takes a lot of care growing up. It's actually just like children. You have to watch them all the time, and it takes a long time before they really grow strong. And under that time, you must protect them from the coming dangers. Like it's just important. Like there are so many removal spells. When I first got into Magic, I was actually a bit frightened about this. That is why we are running 4 Ajani's Presence. Ajani's Presence is just a 1/1 indestructible for 1, and it's an instant. You can also strive it for 3 extra costs, which is actually nice in the late if you have 2 creatures. The best thing about it though is the indestructible. That is why we play it. It is an heroic trigger, and it's indestructible, and on top of that it gains 1/1, which might sometimes help you make that trade you want to make. That's why we run him. Actually, I remember in Theros, this is a new card from Journey to the Nyx. I remember in Theros there were 1 green card that did exactly the same with no strive effect that costed 2. So having this cost 1 is just amazing. It would just help your creatures staying alive, like period. Nothing to be discussed. Next up we have 4 God's Willing. God's Willing is the second protection card we have in the game, aside from Ajani's Presence. It will top it up in a total of 8 cards in the deck that will prevent your creature from dying to removal and whatever. It gains protection from target of your choice. This is better. Protection is, my opinion, way better than indestructible in most cases. And the Scry one is also just a nice side effect. So yeah, no need to go more of that. This is a staple. I would always run this card in any blue-white heroic, any white heroic deck at all. This is just an extremely good card, one of the best spells I think that you can get for this type of deck. Last spell we are running is 3 Triton Tactics. I only have 3, so that's why the strange number, but like it actually fits very well. Triton Tactics is a good card, but it's not always useful. In many cases you will just sit on it, like if you draw it in your opening hand, you just sit on it and being like, well, I have Triton Tactics, and in most cases you will just actually use it for the dual heroic trigger, and that's why it's why I like it. It's one of the only cards that gain a dual heroic trigger. I remember there's also another card named Hidden Strings, but I do not have that one since it's kind of hard to get. It also gets 2 double heroic triggers, but apart from that card, this is like the only blue card that does that for a very cheap price. Also, the 3+ health can save your ass from lightning bolts many times, and it's just nice. And the detain thing that those creatures you block are detained is also very nice. A very versatile card that, while not being the best card, the most effective card, it is certainly one of those cards that you can use in the most of situations, like Spear of Heliod. This card will almost always be of use. So that's why I run it. It's not as good protecting as God's Willing or Ajani's Presence, but it does help protecting your creatures. It's not as good of a heroic trigger as the Ordeal, but it does trigger heroic. And lastly, it does something that no other spell in the deck does, which is help blocking creatures, helping the opponent creatures to get tapped. So yeah, that's the deck tag for my blue-white heroic deck. I hope you like it, guys. Sorry for my bad English, and this was the first deck tag. If you have any suggestions or comments, please write below. Please write what I should do better. And really, I'm just happy to play this game, and I just felt like doing this. I don't know if it's good or not, but I just felt like doing it. Now I don't really have a sideboard for this deck. I just had some cards that I think will be okay in it, and a bit of cards that I just want to discuss. Since I have looked on many blue-white heroic decks on the internet, and some of the choices they make is just a little odd to me. And first of all, many cards on the internet I have found, many decks, sorry, are playing the Soldier of Pantheon. Now, the Soldier of Pantheon is a good card, don't get me wrong, it's nice stats, and while the protection for multicolored isn't very beneficial, I think, and the one life gain isn't very beneficial, it's semi-beneficial, it's good stat, and I understand why people are playing it to some degree, but I just don't feel like it's for the 4 of Soldier of Pantheon, it's not worth the slot. Like, I would rather have Favored Hoplite. I would rather have. I could not imagine any four cards I will take out to play this card. I simply do not understand it. This is like Brimaz. Like, it's a good card, not as good as Brimaz, but it doesn't help towards the strategy at all. So that's why I do not run it. But maybe there's something I don't understand. Tell me in the comments why I should run Soldier of Pantheon, and if you want to, you can also tell what I should change for putting it in. Next up, some other cards I thought about is Elix's Gift of Immortality. This card I just think is just nice, and it's an enchantment and a heroic trigger, and it will save your ass. Just when I made this deck and when I played it first, I was just very paranoid for my guys to die, so I would just do anything not to let them die. I think the 4 of God Willing and the 4 of Ajani's Presence is good enough, but maybe a Gift of Immortality doesn't seem so bad. Now, of course, this is an enchantment, and I have also been playing a bit with the enchantment thought. I think making an enchantment deck, I think primarily based on the card Ethereal Armor, could be very good. Ethereal Armor is definitely a very strong ability, but I don't see the reason to put it in the deck. I would rather have the instant spells, honestly. Like, even though this will give my creature way higher, sky high attack, I would just rather have the protection, and I think an enchantment deck could be made very effectively, but I do not actually think that it is necessary to play heroic. I do not think heroic would be the creatures you'll be willing to run in an enchantment deck. And if you think this card would fit in my deck, by all means, please say it in the comments, and I will surely listen to what you have to say, because I can't really see where I should put it and how it synergizes with my deck, but I haven't actually tested it. So if you think it will be good, then tell me in the comments. Another card, of course, it's Guardsend. The Detention Sphere. The Guardsend is just an insane equipment card, but since it doesn't trigger heroic, I wouldn't run it. I see many guys on the internet be running Detention Sphere just because they say I run 4 Detention Spheres because Detention Sphere is good. And this is obviously true, but is it good enough? Like Brimaz, it's ruining the strategy. Is it actually good enough to ruin the strategy? I don't know. You guys can maybe tell me if it's good enough, because I don't really know. I do not feel like it's good enough. I only have one also, so that's why I'm not very like it would be running it. Another card is the Azorius Charm. The Azorius Charm, I think, is a very good card, but it's just a combination of very unlucky abilities that doesn't trigger heroic at all. Like creatures you control gain lifelink. That doesn't trigger heroic. It's certainly good, but it doesn't trigger heroic. Draw a card, nowhere near triggering heroic, and besides we have Ordeal of Thassa, which draws us 2 cards and trigger 2 heroic counters. And at last, return target attacking or blocking creature to the top of his owner's library. While this is a very good spell, it will be the only spell you will be using in this deck, and it does not trigger heroic at all. Also, so I have also seen blue-white heroic decks run this just because they think it's good, and also I think it's a very good card, but I would not play it in this deck at all. Tell me if you do, because it kind of surprised me. Also, on a last note, I would like to say that I have been thinking about making a splash green-white splash onto the deck, which means that you probably know this, but for newer players this means that like, it's funny because I'm also really new, but it means that you put a little amount of lands that for example are dual colors, like white green, blue green, stuff like that. I should have if you do this, I think you should have the non-tapped versions of the dual colors, but if you have them, I think that cards like Ajani, Mentor of Heroes, which gives 3 1/1 counters. I don't know if this triggers heroic, but if it does, it's just insane. If it doesn't, it's still very good. And a creature, the second ability by revealing an aura and a creature is also very good, since we do have a lot of enchantment and we do have a decent bit of creatures. We can also play creatures, spells like Reap What Is Sown, which is a triple heroic trigger. Yes, you heard right. It does trigger 3 creatures with heroic, which also could be nice to splash this into. I'm thinking of the Celestial Charm is also a very good. The Trample is one ability that we do not have in the game, is in the deck. Sorry. And I could certainly think that Trample is very good, since I have taken down on Aqueous Form, and being down on Aqueous Form means that we will have to fight a lot more creatures than we had before, and Trample is a good way to deal damage even though we are fighting creatures. So yeah, that I think was it for my deck tag. I hope you like it. I hope it wasn't too long. I personally like long deck tags, but maybe I've just been rambling and talking for way too far, but you can let me know that in the comment, I'm sure. Thank you for watching, if you're watching this, and yeah, I will surely do more of this if anybody likes it. So yeah, hello.